Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We'll continue our focus on the elections, electoral matters. Dr. Bina Simon joins us this morning. He was the candidate, the flag bearer for the SDP in the just concluded AMAC elections. Concluded because he says no point going to court. So maybe I'm safe to use the word concluded, but for some others they think it's not over until it's over. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a Friday, so I can be a little lighter on the people. When they say, what's going on here? Is this not the
clone of former president?
So people are looking at me wondering, what are we doing? But you did go for that election, and so it was a serious matter at that point in time.
Yes.
But before we even come to that, what made you go into elections in the first place?
Well, for me, what drove my interest to go into the election is about the people. My foundation has been doing a lot here in Abuja, and I know the quality of living of the residents, especially here in AMAC. And a lot of people came and said, come and run for this office. At first, I refused. They insisted. I still refused. They had to talk to one of my mentors, you know, to talk to me, and then he threw one or two questions to me, and I saw the need. Because the question you asked me is, you have a foundation, you are doing things for people. I said, yes. He said, do you know the number of people you reach out to as AMAC chairman? So that was where he got me. So,
do you regret going in or taking his advice?
Not at all, because the experience I gained now, I doubt if there is amount of money that will buy it.
Because when you did say, when other people thought, no, there's an injustice here, we will challenge this, you thought it's going to be a waste of time for you.
Look, in politics, apart from, you know, the theatrics, you have to face the reality. What will you do? You see, in the election is very clear. A lot of people were shortchanged, sidelined, because I've never seen where you have election and then a day before the election there's curfew, 8 p.m. A lot of voters in Otako Market, in Jabi Market, in Garki, City Center, a lot of the people doing businesses there don't live there. They live in places like Nyanya, they live in Maraba, they live in Karshi, Karo. They come, do their business, lock up their shop and go back, probably because of the cost of rent or so. All these people were shut out of the election because there's, what is it called, roadblock everywhere.
Are we assuming they didn't register where they live?
They didn't register where they live, they registered where they do business. And it has been a culture and tradition that any time there's election, they leave early in the morning. Around, say, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning, they come to their polling units just to vote.
So you think that curfew was deliberate?
It was deliberate because anybody that does politics in AMAC understands the behavior of the voters, okay? They understand the pattern. They know how it goes. So what do? One, stop them from coming to vote. A lot of them, you see more than 500, 1,000 vehicles lined up. They've been refused to enter into the city center and other places, Apo Mechanic and the rest of them. They don't live there. They do business there. And then when INEC also came, they registered them there. Okay? And then you look at all these things and then you feel it's just a normal thing. No, it's not normal. It's not normal. You don't put curfew. How do you intend, what do you want the people to do? You put curfew when there is an uprising. In the history of AMAC election, this 2026 is one of the most peaceful campaigns. There was no clash whatsoever among the political parties. No fight, no nothing anywhere. So what warranted the curfew in the first place? You put curfew when there is fear of maybe there's a kind of uprising or some thugs or whatever, but there was nothing like that. If there is, let the police give the record. There is none. I didn't record any. I was one of the, candidates that campaigned rigorously. There is no nook and cranny of AMAC I've not entered. I don't just come to a particular ward and then people gather, I address them. No, I go community by community in that particular ward. And I've never encountered either attack or something of that nature. Then why the curfew?
It's taking me forever to get past seeing you as president, Muhammad. I don't know why. Maybe also the way you speak.
Maybe you start speaking like that, so you will become answer your questions.
Well, but I can hear. I mean, as the conversation hots up, I can hear your own voice. Because for years that was the persona you wore to the public. And pardon me if I'm finding it so difficult, but here you are, and you are now perfectly in the terrain of, the gentleman for many years whose life you cloned. I mean, put it that way, the persona whom you mimicked, so to speak. And you are in that right now in politics, finding out firsthand what it is like, talking with the people and trying your best to see if you can make a difference. I'm just wondering, what new things did you learn in the process? Because clearly, when our correspondent spoke with you, you didn't have a lot of faith in the resolution process. But at least you had faith enough to say, yes, perhaps I can take this on, and maybe perhaps the people's votes will count and I will be able to make a difference. You don't believe the votes counted, do you?
Okay, so again, in the history of AMAC election, this is one of the most apathetic elections.
INEC will disagree with you.
No.
But go ahead.
They can disagree with me, but this is reality. Everybody that voted in AMAC knows that.
Okay, well,
you go to a polling
You're
unit.
being very specific now.
Yes.
You say AMAC, not FCT elections.
I'm not talking. I have to speak on the jurisdiction where I contested the election. I wasn't in Kwali, Kuje, Abaji, and the rest of them.
I do not have the details for AMAC specifically.
So, in AMAC, you go to a polling unit where you have 5,000 registered voters, or 2,000 registered voters, or 3,000 registered voters. You find out only 5 people or 7 persons are there to vote. Okay? And that is how it was across the area council in AMAC. The question is, where did APC get the 40,000, over 40,000 votes? Where did it come from? If voters did not come out to vote, so where did you get the votes?
What do you think?
Of course, we know what happened. There was a lot of vote buying. Our agents reported that to us. A lot of vote buying. As APC is buying, ADC is also buying. Okay? There was
you can only buy the votes of those who have come out to vote. Those are the people whose votes you can.
Where they buy the votes.
Yes.
Where they buy the votes it's not the same everywhere. There are places where you see people come out. The little that come out will tell you categorically that if you don't pay them, they will not vote. Our agent reported that to us too. These are the
challenges here.
Yes. They will tell you that if you don't pay them, they will not vote. Immediately you pay them, they will vote.
Well, so in many instances, I think people didn't show up. In some instances, they showed up, but they wanted to be paid.
In some places, they showed up.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened. Okay? And then it also brings the question and the thinking that why spend money campaigning? Why spend money consulting? Just keep your money. Make sure you have your posters everywhere. When it's election day, bring out your money and buy votes. There's no point spending money campaigning, spending money consulting people. Okay? Because a lot of money went into that. You understand? So, my point is, as it stands right now, I don't know what we have. If it's democracy, I don't know what we have. If it's selection, or what it is. I can't tell you what it is.
So does it mean, or will you contest any election whatsoever again at any time?
With what I saw now, with what is on ground now, I doubt if even the voters have confidence to even vote. I have a lot of people who said they are not coming out to vote because they know the votes will not count. I have a lot of people who said they would have come out to vote for me, but the thing is, they voted for Obi, but the votes didn't count. I told them no. Obi won FCT. Labour Party won FCT. So the vote counted. But probably maybe others didn't count. But they weren't listening. Okay? People were consulted in the middle of the night, given a lot of money. You talk about all these, many traditional rulers. I won't say all. Majority of the traditional rulers, especially the non-indigenous traditional rulers, were all induced with money. Okay?
How did you know?
We have their members that are giving us information now. The meetings they had, they engaged with the party that has the biggest pocket.
So, but this is like rigging before the actual elections. I think
absolutely. And there is condition giving you the money. If you will not vote for us, tell your people not to come out to vote at all.
Okay. So my point is, in the actual vote itself, where people, I mean, you've listed a lot of problems. The fact that people, the curfew that was imposed, vote buying on the day of elections, some of the, will I say, the consultations that happened perhaps the night before. Some people will say, well, that's what politicians do. But on the actual day itself, for those who came out, few as they might be, you know, and finally cast their ballot, did you see any manipulation? Because you've asked the question, the 40,000 that APC got in Amak, where did they get it from? It's a valid question to ask given the level of apathy that we saw. But then some people will say that there are some places in Amak that, you know, are like communities. People can come out in those areas and vote. I'm just wondering, did you notice anything untoward in the actual collation of results?
Now, what I notice is very simple. Number one, so many factors came into play in the just concluded election. One, there is vote buying. Two, there are threats that were made, especially to the non-indigenous residents in Amak. Okay? Three, a lot of people were induced with money to either vote or not to even come at all, not to come out at all to vote. Now, if you check the results, you will see here 70, you see here 50, you see somewhere 150, you see somewhere 30. Is that what make up to give you 40,000 votes?
Have you checked it out yourself?
I did.
You didn't get that? What did you get?
I did. What you have in Amak is about 1,399 polling units. But I think now with the adjustment they did and all of that is about 1,401. Okay? So the calculation is very simple. Who sits down to start looking at all that? The day of election, they will just declare. What you will do is that the style is declare the person we want to become, let the rest go to court.
Well, Dr. Simon, we do thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
It's quite an experience that you have had. And then, well, it's the never say never party will continue, because if people don't come out to vote, then there can be no chance to even have any change whatsoever. So it was a good thing you say, look, yes, it may be not as much as what people want, it doesn't mean they shouldn't come out to vote.
Exactly.
You know, so we'll keep tabs with that. We thank you for coming on, and all the best to you.
Thank you for having me.
Just an aside though, do you still wear the persona of President Muhammadu Buhari?
For 3 years now, no.
No, okay, so that's over now.
I've retired. I'm just having my pension and maybe gratuity at the time of resignation or retirement.
Fair enough.
Okay.